This has made me really realise kind of how time has gone on. It's been nearly 25 years since Natalie Imbruglia released that brilliant chart-topping single, Torn, turning her into a global sensation almost overnight.
It still gets loads of radio play now,
Yeah,
doesn't it? You hear it all the time. She's releasing her new album, though, her first with original material for more than a decade, and it celebrates independence, finding strength. We're going to speak to her shortly, but first, let's have a listen.
I love that you gave my heart a home, because hasn't changed, but I'm here alone.
We're so pleased we've got Natalie Imbruglia with us on the sofa. Morning.
Good morning.
And
Hello.
actually, we were listening to the music. Promise you, we were. I was listening to it the other day. But biggest fan of the breakfast theme music, which I think completely trounces your music
Yes.
in the eyes of your 2-year-old.
He loves it.
What
He'll
does
run
he do?
from the kitchen into the living room when he hears the theme tune, which is obviously because I have you guys on all the time.
Why
so.
didn't you think of putting it on the album?
I should have. I might do a children's
Seriously?
lullaby album and start with the BBC.
Oh, listen.
There's breakfast. He's watching now.
Oh, there you go. That was just for him. That was just
Should
for
we
him.
do an MP3 of it or something like that? And you can take it home, just have it on a loop, keep
Oh
him
my
entertained.
gosh, that's brilliant.
How's he doing? Because
He's
what,
great.
he's 2 now?
He's 2. He's 2. He's fantastic.
A handful?
Light of my life.
Oh, really?
Not really, actually. He's pretty good.
Do you know, and we'll come back. We will talk about the music in a moment. But it's just interesting during the pandemic how it's been having a child, and also Australia opening up the borders.
I know.
Later in a few weeks,
But my parents are on the Gold Coast.
right?
So do I fly to Sydney with fingers crossed and quarantine? And but it is good. It is good.
Because
that
he
things
wouldn't
are
have seen them
changing.
for quite a while, would he?
Christmas was the last time, and I quarantined for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So
So that's going to be all exciting
Yeah.
for him, getting family life. And as family life gets back to normal, you've been back in the studio.
I have.
As well. And this album, I mean, a celebration of independence and just kind of a whole new vibe and collaborations that I imagine you've kind of had on a list for a while.
well, I had 5 years of writer's block, and so when I overcame that, I had this newfound confidence, and I rang all the people I've wanted to write with for a long time. So Katie Tunstall, Albert Hammond Jr., and Romeo Stoddard for the Magic Numbers, plus lots of other songwriters, Luke Fitton, Egg White. So it's been amazing.
What happens, though, if you haven't written for 5 years, right, and then all of a sudden you say, no, I'm back, and you write, wouldn't you have been a bit nervous? I was just thinking,
Well,
they're
I
not
had a
going to
writing
say no.
session with a guy called Roddy Hart, and he came from Scotland to write with me, and he set up the keyboard in the living room, and I couldn't sing a note. I kept saying, should we go for a coffee? So it's a real thing.
What had happened? Do you know
I lost
why?
my confidence.
Oh, okay.
So I was scared to sing anything, write anything, that it wasn't going to be good enough. And so that took some working on. But anything creative, it's a discipline. So you have to show up for yourself. You have to keep trying. And I think Firebird is testament to if you stick at it. I've had the most incredible creative flow on this record, and I'm just having the best time.
So what was it after 5 years that unlocked it and released that confidence again?
I think it's a discipline. I went to Nashville and I did a 10-day stint there, and they do 2 sessions a day, and it's really intense, and I cried a lot, and I wrote some songs that I didn't really love. And then I finally wrote this song called When You Love Too Much with a girl called Caroline Watkins, and it just encapsulated how we were both feeling, and it was just that, it's like, this is why I do what I do. You know, this is what connects with people. It's like sharing emotional stories like that.
But that must be such a... Because you must have been thinking, I'm never going to be able to sing or write again, were you, for
Yeah.
a while? So now to be able to do it and have an album out...
It's the best feeling. It really is.
Did you ever think about giving it up?
I did give it up.
So
I
it wasn't
gave it
even
up.
a case that you said, OK, I've got writer's block and I'll get back to it and I'll work on myself. You just went, no.
I thought the universe was telling me not to do it, because I spent 3 years working on an album that was pretty much shelved. I mean, it was released in Australia and New Zealand, but not a worldwide release. And I thought, I can't believe 3 years of my life, and I mean, maybe I'm not meant to be doing this. So you have to believe in yourself, even if other people aren't believing in you. You've just got to stick at it.
Good. I'm glad you did, because the album's good.
Absolutely, yeah. And so we talked about your little boy, who's 2, and a massive fan of the BBC Breakfast theme tune.
Of course.
To what extent has him joining you in life been part of that freeing up of your mind and your creativity?
I think it coincided. I
Yeah.
think that because I was pregnant while I was songwriting, and I think the joy of that being in place, because it's something I yearned for a long time, and it was a long road. And I think that being in place definitely freed up a lot of creativity.
It's really interesting, isn't it? Because you've been very open, and we had our briefing notes, and we look at personal issues, and we don't want to pry into personal issues, but you've been very open about having IVF treatment to have your son, and you've spoken about how amazing it is that people have responded with such kindness to you.
Well, yeah, because I initially put the statement out because I thought I'm in the public eye, I'm going to say it, and that's it, because I don't want further intrusion on something so personal. But I got so much love and so many women saying, oh my gosh, thank you for being open about it. It's given me the courage to take that step. And I thought, I'm really glad that I spoke out about it.
And it's really interesting because I think nearly 24 years ago, when Torn hit the top of the charts, I cannot imagine women being received so positively who have a certain image, there's an expectation around them in the way they look or the music they perform, to kind of have been embraced in that way. It's changed.
It's definitely changed.
And the industry as well, to support you.
I think so. And just, even in the line of questioning and everything, it's such a joy. And I don't know if that's also because I'm a bit older. It might be that. But I do feel like there's a lot more respect around women in the way that those things are poised.
And you must have women coming to you now, getting in touch to you, asking for help and guidance, people you've not met.
I go to dinner parties, and when the subject comes up, I'm like, here's my number, give me a call.
Oh.
Really?
Just because I think it's a very... For women, I still think it brings up a lot of feelings, and I think that it can be a lonely journey, so it's nice to have that support.
Favourite song on the album?
Oh, gosh. I mean, they're all my stories, but I have to say, build it better, because I think it was written before the pandemic, although it sounds like the theme tune for coming out of a pandemic. But I think it's just about finding strength in fragility and letting things fall apart to create something better. So I just love the message behind it.
I love the fact that it's your 2-year-old's birthday yesterday and you're dashing back for the party
Yes.
this morning. Are you going to be like baking? Are you doing the baking and things like that?
I've got a little bit of help because I'm here, but I really wanted to be here.
Are you good at party games?
No.
Do you know what
I'm
learning.
learning.
It is? You're learning.
Balloons?
I've got so many balloons. Too many balloons, the house is full.
Well, you've got two things to celebrate. You've got a birthday and the album, haven't you?
That's true.
That's great.
I hope you have a
Thank
brilliant time with him. Hope he has
Thank
a brilliant
you.
party. And just the musical chairs. Breakfast
Oh, there you
music.
go, musical chairs.
Musical chairs
There
with the
you go.
BBC breakfast thing.
Sorted.
Tell you
Natalie,
what,
it's been a
as a
joy.
birthday present to him, in a minute we're going to play the little music sting as well, so he'll enjoy
I'll film it
listening.
and send it you.
There you go.
Somebody will, not
There
me,
you go.
obviously.
Natalie Imbriglia's new album is called Firebird. Look at the joy on her face as she imagines her son listening to our music.
Stay with us. Headlines
coming
coming
up.
up. Music even sooner.